In a hierarchical, block-based design flow, a timing budget defines how much of the clock period is allocated to a block and how much is allocated to the top level. Without timing budgets, each block could be implemented, assuming it can use nearly the full clock period. While this may work at the block level, problems emerge during top-level integration when real interconnect delays and cross-block paths are introduced. This typically leads to timing violations and repeated implementation iterations. With well-defined timing budgets, each block is designed using realistic and sometimes slightly pessimistic constraints. This greatly improves the likelihood that top-level static timing analysis will converge with fewer iterations. To support this, each block must include proper clock definitions, interface constraints such as input and output delays, drive and load modeling, and appropriate path exceptions like false or multi-cycle paths. The key takeaway is that accurate timing budgets enable predictable and efficient timing convergence at the top level. The set input delay constraint is used to specify the arrival time of an input signal at a block's input port relative to a defined clock edge. It models the delay of upstream logic and interconnect that exist outside the block boundary. In the example, the command set input delay indicates that the input signal at port IN2 arrives 4.3 nanoseconds after the active rising edge of the CK2 clock. By accurately constraining input arrival times relative to the appropriate clock, set input delay enables the timing tools to correctly analyze setup and hold requirements at the block interface, and supports realistic block-level timing budgets and predictable top-level timing closure. The set output delay constraint specifies the required timing of signals, leaving a block relative to a reference clock, and models the output path delay values. It defines the amount of time available for a signal to propagate from an internal register through the block's output logic and reach the output port so that it can be captured by the receiving module. The command set output delay indicates that the output signal on port D1 is expected to be valid 5 nanoseconds after the rising edge of the clock. By accurately constraining output timing relative to the receiving clock, set output delay enables correct analysis of inter-block paths and supports reliable block-level implementation and top-level timing closure. We use the set drive constraint to model the source resistance of the external driver connected to an input pin. In a block-level flow, this represents the upstream logic driving the block, not logic contained inside the block itself. Accurately modeling the driver ensures that input slew and delay are realistically captured during timing analysis. The set load constraint models the amount of capacitive load an output port must drive. This load represents downstream logic, interconnect, or both, outside the block boundary. Setting a realistic output load allows the implementation tools to correctly size and optimize the output drivers inside the block. Both set drive and set load are applied when implementing the block, and together they define the constraints at the block interface. In the example shown here, set drive is applied to the input port D in to model the strength of the external driver. Similarly, set load is applied to the output port D out to represent the external capacitance that the block must drive. Given a 6 nanosecond clock period, we partition the end-to-end path into 3 nanoseconds inside the source block, 1 nanosecond across the boundary interconnect, and 2 nanoseconds inside the destination block. This budgeting yields boundary constraints. The signal must depart the source block boundary by 3 nanoseconds after the launching clock edge and arrive at the destination block boundary by 4 nanoseconds. That is 3 nanoseconds plus 1 nanosecond. Using departure and arrival times at the interfaces lets each block be implemented independently while preserving the full 6 nanosecond budget for top-level timing closure. In a hierarchical design flow, block models are generated from the completed block implementation to enable accurate and efficient top-level timing analysis. These generated block models capture the essential timing behavior of the block without exposing internal implementation details. Specifically, the model includes timing arcs that describe signal propagation between input and output ports, as well as pin loads that represent the effective input capacitance seen by upstream logic. As shown in the diagram, characteristics such as pin capacitance, timing arcs, clock insertion delay, and output departure time are extracted from the block implementation and abstracted into the block model. By using these models at the top level, tools can accurately analyze cross-block paths, reduce runtime, and support predictable timing convergence, while allowing blocks to be developed and optimized independently. Boundary constraints provide a method to decouple block-level implementation from top-level timing analysis, enabling multiple blocks to be developed and analyzed in parallel with predictable interfaces. This approach significantly improves scalability and reduces late-stage integration surprises. However, the challenge lies in accurately generating and maintaining boundary conditions, since these constraints must evolve as the top-level design changes, requiring careful coordination to avoid over or under constraining blocks.